All right, it's the time we've all been waiting for. It's Power Players. We have a very special guest today in Tori Trades. Tori is, thank you very much for joining us today. I know you're very busy. Thanks to your community for joining us today. We get a special present for everybody. If you wait a little while, we'll see if we get there. We're trying to get to 35,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Enough of that. Bring your friends. Bring everybody. It's Tori Trades. How are you today, Tori?
I'm doing good. Thank you guys for having me. And thank you guys. If anyone has joined from my story post that I made, thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate that.
Tori, what has happened? I haven't talked to you in months.
It's been a while. It's been.
Zoom, we did the Zoom thing before. What was that, back in June? May?
I think it was right before the summit.
Right before the summit. Yes, exactly. So how have you been since then?
I've been good, man. Things are great. I am, as far as trading goes, like I'm hitting new levels just back to back. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, you came off of a banger of a trade from what I've heard. Tell me a little bit about. Well, first tell everybody a little bit about yourself, just really quick. So everybody
Absolutely. So my name is Tori Trades. I have been trading for it's pretty cool. This year I've been saying 8 years. So like next year I get to say I've been trading for 9 years.
You can say almost 10 next year. You can say
yes. How wild. That's just crazy. Oh my God. Yeah. Almost 10 years I've been trading. So I got into trading because my uncle is a day trader. He taught me how to trade in my early 20s. He taught me for free and for fun, and I didn't quite take it seriously until 3 years in, and then finally started seeing some results and started applying what he taught me. So it's been a very interesting journey, but I wouldn't change anything about it.
So you've had big ups and downs, and what are you trading?
Mostly crude oil. That's my main man is crude oil. I do dabble in gold, the YM, the NQ. Platinum has been really fun this year. Really fun.
You're a platinum trader, huh? One of the first ones I've ever. No, we've had some platinum traders here at Topstep.
Yeah,
you don't see very many of them. They're scarce.
I know. I'm coming to find that. But this past 2-3 months, it has been respecting my levels and my trend lines to a T. It is absolutely beautiful.
Well, okay. So tell me about you. You had a beautiful trade. We'll get into your history of trading, but you had a beautiful trade just recently that I've heard about, and you knocked it out of the park, which I love. People, is that your best? Tell me about it, and then is it your best winning day?
Yeah, it's to date my best trade. I took a short position in oil. It was 6 contracts of crude oil mini, and rode the short position down to $26,000 and then closed out. And then usually when I have that big trade, I'm like, okay, done. Let's take a break. I'm exhausted. This time got right back in the following day, took a quick trade in, I believe it was the NQ, made $4,000 and then made it an even 30K in 2 days. And I was like, okay, now I'm a little overwhelmed. Now I need to chill out, take a break. Now I'm having this issue getting back into a trade. So I haven't placed a trade since the 2nd of October. I'm sitting around I don't know. It's been a very interesting experience.
What have you been doing on the sit around? Because I think a lot of traders would want to know. First, congratulations. That's a kick-ass 2 days. How many was that? 2 days trade for both of them?
Mm-hmm.
30 grand, doing some ARB here. But after that, I know we are all about preserve capital. Traders always got to think about our downside. You just had a great upside. Your account just got super padded. What do you think, and what are you doing? And it's 16th right now.
I'm still looking at the markets. I think I'm being incredibly selective. I'm not even looking at. I'm looking at only daily trend lines, daily levels. I've had many alerts go off that I'm just don't feel good about them. It's more of that intuition than strategy, to be honest. It's just I'm not feeling so great about the position, so I'm not going to take it. So I'm just being really selective, I guess.
So you sound like you opened up your time frame too. Is that what you're kind of doing? So so did you look at dailies before this? I see sometimes traders when they try they go shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter time frames until they're like every tech. You're like, how do you do that? But you put up money, and then now you're like feeling like you have this good cushion probably. I'm just speaking for, but like now you're opening up, stepping back a little bit, waiting for these higher time frame levels, which end up being a little stronger than, of course, shorter time frame levels. Is that kind of? Am I reading that right?
Yeah. I even when so this year specifically, I made the transition to the 4 hour. So last year I traded, we'll say between like I went from the 5 minute to the 1 hour and like stayed in that kind of range. But this year I was like, okay, we're swing trading. I'm going to stay in those higher time frames. So 4 hour time frame has been where I'm at. I have just been incorporating like the daily. I want to say this month and like maybe 2 months before. I'm struggling with it though, because it's such a high time frame. That's just like, man, waiting for a candle to close in the daily time frame. That one's tricky.
Right. So right now, what are you thinking? What's in your head? I know you're waiting back. I mean, are you waiting for some setup to happen right now, or are you just kind of digesting the whole kick-ass trading a few weeks ago, and now you're looking to get kind of back into where you were before, or are you kind of changing up your game?
I don't want to change too much up, but I'm definitely in like this phase of just letting that trade marinate. Like I'm just like, man, that was nice. Like, oh my gosh, that was my record trade. We'll even have my record month. I mean, even if I don't place another trade for the rest of the month, like it's still a record day and a record month. So
I mean, yes, those are boosters. Those are boosters to your trading journey. The biggest thing to do, and I love what you're doing, Tori, is not doubling your size, trading more, and all that right after all that, which we see all the time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There's been something where I've noticed that when traders have their biggest win, it is almost always followed by like their biggest loss. That's just the stats.
Those are, in my opinion, those are in my opinion, Hug, I'll let you go, but those are in my opinion, the traders that still haven't matured. And we're always, I think, maturing, and it's a craft that we're always honing and trying to get ourselves better and better. But yeah, that's definitely something I see quite a bit.
So, Tori, you're absolutely right. We see a lot of traders who've had like their best winning day followed by probably their best losing day. So I applaud you for being patient and getting your head wrapped around taking a profit like that. Now, back in the day when I was trading like that and making days like that and losing days like that, it helped me get back in the game if I'd spend all the money.
Fair.
I don't suggest doing that. Now, I wanted to just ask you a little bit. You're trading different products, and I know you're using trend lines for your entries, probably for your exits as well, which makes your strategy somewhat product agnostic, which led you possibly to the platinum or palladium? Platinum?
Platinum, yeah.
Well, platinum trade. So there was something in that chart that you said, this is something I would take if it was crude oil, if it was S&P, NASDAQ, whatever it is. This is a risk limiting opportunity for me to take, and you took it.
Yeah, absolutely. I've come to find that platinum, especially these past, like, I'll say 2 months since I haven't been looking at it too much this year, it's just been like truly respecting these trend lines. And then when it breaks out of those trend lines, it's a clean break, it's a clean entry, and then it'll continue to follow a new trend. So it's just these, and it's got so much like volatility, it's just, if you looked at it, it's beautiful, especially in that 4 hour time frame, just excellent movement.
Now, how are you? I mean, you must pretty much spend all your time sitting around looking at these charts, looking for these opportunities. I mean, you're looking at different products, probably a whole bunch of different products, looking for these opportunities off these trend lines. Do you get to do anything else?
I'll be honest with you, Hogue. My chart time is incredibly minimal. Like I'm talking like minimal. So what I do is I'll draw all my trend lines and my levels, whether people call them, support and resistance or supply and demand. I'll put some level. I just call them levels where I see where the price is.
We're the same. Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So I'll set alerts on those in the 4 hour time frame on trend lines and on these levels in TradingView, and then I'm done. Like on Sundays, I'll usually just go through all my instruments. I'll mark up my charts, make sure alerts are set on all the trend lines, and then I'm done. And when one of my alerts goes off, that's when I get my screen time.
So it's that simple.
It truly is.
That's
So,
it.
Tori, really quickly, John, I got to cut in here. Did you put any
No
money?
problem.
Did you put any money aside? Did you take any money out? I know when I had some of my biggest days, or I was on a hot streak, and everything, I would take. Of course, I'd take the money. I never needed to keep a lot of money in my account because I got the buying power from our prop firm, from the prop firm, and from my brokerage because I knew the broker that or the clearing firm that owned. Long story short, I would keep a low balance, and I'd always take the money out, and then I'd put money aside for mortgage. That lump of change goes there. This is all for whatever, and then I would always kind of know that. It takes a shitload of pressure off. It took a shitload of pressure off me that I didn't have to make money. And I remember my trading psychologist says you make the most money when you don't need it.
Yeah.
That was kind of my way of putting
Right.
it in a spot to not need it. Have you done anything like
So,
that?
Usually my trading last year specifically, I would do that same exact scenario. I'd keep the account balance at like 25K, and then whatever I made off the top, scoop it off. Whatever I made off the top, scoop it off. Yeah, it was
Yep.
an excellent system, like beautiful. It was sustainable, and I mean, very similar to you. It just felt like there wasn't pressure. This year,
Go ahead.
go ahead. Oh,
No,
sorry.
go ahead.
So this year I'm trying to just build the account. I want to experiment with some larger position sizes. So being able to do that, I need to build some more capital there. So this year I've been more of the building capital than the just kind of scooping off the top. And I've had a lot of different experiences. I will say, since I am bringing a lot more sources of income in outside of trading now this year, I still get that same effect of like less pressure off the trading before I would just scoop off the top of that 25K. But this year I still, even though I'm not scooping off the top as much, I've still got that comfortability in my trading because I've got so many different sources of income now.
Yeah, when you have more income streams, I've always been told too, as a trader, if you're going to be in the trading world, have other income streams. Whether it's
Always.
you bought a condo and you're renting it out,
Yes.
whether you have another job, whether you're doing educational stuff. And I want to talk about your group coaching stuff that you do, 21-day stuff. That sounds awesome. But like this type of stuff, and you also learn the most when you teach. That's another thing that I've learned too, starting Topstep. And John,
God,
same
yeah.
thing. But like you have all these together, and then you still work on like your sweet spot where your passion started, the foundation, everything, which is trading. And if you can get all those working together, it's the best damn lifestyle.
It is.
Because you don't feel like you're working.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And that's where I'm trying to figure out, it'll be so fun to like at the end of this year, just take a step back and be like, okay, what gave you the most success? Because this year specifically, I'm having the most success in my trading. And I'm like trying to put all these things together. Is it because I'm in the higher time frame? Is it because I've moved to swing trading? Is it because I'm teaching now and I have so many people holding me accountable? Is it because I have more streams of income? There's like so many things here that could attribute to it. But I'm like, regardless, maybe it's a combination of all of it. But it's been really cool to step back and be like, wow, I'm having the most success I've had just because, or, like I was mentioning before, the multiple streams of income. Before there was just a lot more pressure on the trading. There's just, now I can purely focus on just strategy itself. And I can pass up on signals, which is, I think, even the best part, to be able to see an entry and be like, you know what? I'm not going to take this one.
Yeah. So everybody that's listening, there's something about, and don't ever quit your day job. That's my little, never tell anybody what to do, but I'll definitely, in my shared experience from seeing other traders, never quit your main source of income stream, whether it's, you work at a bartender or a waitress or whatever, you're an accountant. Keep all that going, get good at trading. And then it takes a while, as Tori, and I mean, she learned from her uncle, which, by the way, did you take your uncle out for dinner?
No, I called him though, and I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy.
What'd he say?
Oh, he always will opt for me to either. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know if this is, we'll just say it like it is. He's like, okay, why are you not in a bigger position? If you were so confident in this trade, why aren't you in a bigger position? Or he's like, you don't need to close it. Are you like tight on cash right now? Is there any specific reason you want to close it? I'm like, I mean, no, but it's my biggest trade. So he's always like, write it out, or like, why aren't you in a bigger position every time? And I'm like, he just really.
Are you both of the similar like time frame and types of traders, or is he a size trader that looks for longer hold times?
He is all over the place. I'm pretty sure he'll be in the 5-minute time frame some days. He'll hold for a week or two sometimes. So he I feel like has the ability to do whatever he pleases in the market.
Well, it's got to be awesome to have him that you can learn from and then follow up on and say, guess what, Uncle, what's his name? First name?
Mike.
Uncle Mike, check it out. Check this out. You show him the statement and all that kind of stuff. And
oh yeah. He, to be honest, I got to show him I've showed him both of my record trades, which were in crude oil, and I've gotten him to like place a few oil trades too. And I'm like, oh wow, I didn't know I'd have any influence on my uncle. You know what I'm saying? But that was pretty neat.
So, okay, let's jump back to really quick. Account management is kind of what we were talking about, where you build up the account, you pull it off, and that's what I did all the time. And then I'd park it. It in whatever I'm parking it, investment wise, or just like safekeeping wise, or whatever. That's kind of where you're at right now. And we talked about you moving forward with this, but that's a big piece of the game. That sounds like you did exactly what like I did, and I know you did the same thing. And what we try to really teach people too, not teach, instill, is there's risk management is what got you into that trade and your trading plan and all that kind of thing. And then after you put up the money, then there's like your account management. And there's all these facets of getting yourself into like a mature, like professional trader that can do this day in and day out, because you got to manage all this. Because if you're taking out all the money in your account and then you go to put a position on, last thing you want to do is put money back into that account. You never want to redeposit or send a check back to the brokerage firm. Is why I was always, once you start being consistently profitable and you're taking money out. How is that's something we learned on the trading floor?
Yes. No, absolutely. You know, one thing we all learned, I think probably the hard way, is keeping too much money in your account is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Right. So, Tori, I want to ask you, you're futures trading now pretty much exclusively, right? Did you ever trade Forex?
I did trade Forex. When was it? It was a few years ago. I remember my uncle was making the transition to futures, and I was seeing like some hype on social media and on the internet of Forex, and I was like, let me just, figure this out, dabble into it. And he's like, go ahead, by all means, figure it out. And I don't think he's ever traded Forex, to be honest. But I was like, I was going to kind of report back and be like, all right, so this is how our strategy works in Forex. And then it was maybe only 2-3 months, maybe a little bit longer than that. And he was showing me the success he was having in futures. And I was like, all right, we're going to futures. Like, it didn't even faze me. I was like, we're just going to skip Forex altogether and go right to futures.
So if you were to have a new student or somebody who was coming into trading that you were talking to, you would just say, you know what, just get into futures.
I would if I could. I'd say the only shiny thing that Forex has to offer is there's just such a low barrier to entry. And a lot of students want to come in with just, $100 to $500, and that's the only place I can recommend them, because you can't do, I don't know of any place where you can do futures, a personal account with just $500. So it's just, that's kind of the only, if someone wanted to trade just a personal account, that's absolutely, the way I'd have to direct them. But then there is the alternative of a futures prop firm, which they very well could come with just, that lower barrier to entry.
Well, I think there are places that you can play. You can trade futures with $500, but you're going to have to write a check every day.
It's every day. Yeah, you'll have you'll be frozen or deactivated or whatever because of just taking a loser for a short period of time. It's a small amount of money to trade futures with. In general, it's a small amount of money to trade whatever with. It's $500. So. I know. I don't like to recommend it. I mean, to be honest, like if you could give yourself like a cushion of like, I'm going to say $5,000 is probably the sweet spot. That's what I started with. And it was enough to work with the micros. Absolutely. You can trade the micros in the futures market. I think if you have the ability and the capacity to build up that much savings to get started, I think that's the best way to go. Yeah, if you have $5,000, I would go to Topstep and I would learn with partners like you and talented coaches that we have and that we work with, and you have group coaching and things like that. You learn, you get keep your $5,000 over there, and then when you're getting yourself in a good spot, call it consistent, call it you just got funded, call it all that, and you're feeling really confident, then it's almost like pre-qualifying you to even trade for your own money in a personal brokerage account is getting yourself in a position first in a real-time simulated experience before you ever fly your your personal brokerage account, So.
Oh yeah. I'd agree with that. Absolutely. And it gives you just that added discipline to follow these rules and abide by these, targets and rules. Absolutely. I'd say that if anything, that will only help.
What are you learning the most? You have a 21. Tell me about the 21-day group coaching that you do, and what are you learning the most from it?
Oh my God.
That helps your trading. Well, in life in general.
It's a great question.
I'd say it's holding me accountable. So during these 21 days, I have students that are watching my trades with a microscope, like everything that I do. So I can't take an entry unless it is by the book. I can't, because what do you teach? Oh, intuition. I got in early. Like, no, you can't. That's something you can't teach. So it's been the coolest thing being on like the educational side. It's like way cool to have like a smaller community where you guys can just like spitball with each other. Just be like, okay, I drew this line. Does this level look like the same level you've got? Does this trend line look like the same trend line you've got in this time frame? Okay, did it break? All right, well, we're all placing the same trades because this trend line finally got broken. So the community aspect is cool.
Tori, 1 second. The microphone is getting robotic.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. Be right back, guys.
Yep, we'll be here.
We will be waiting. We will be waiting.
Speaking of waiting, John, the markets are waning. Is it waning?
Yes. Do you see on that 30-minute NASDAQ chart the bull flag that's forming?
Yes.
I'm hawking that in both the NASDAQ and in the S&P. It's kind of similar to maybe something that Tori would be looking for in a longer time frame. It's because that's just trend lines.
That is just trend lines. Yeah, you're right. Still, I'm not seeing today. I'm glad I'm only down $165. This is a scratch day. I don't know what Post-it note I'm going to put up there if I quit. I'm going to put a half blue, half red one. Right?
Maybe there should be another Post-it note for a scratch.
Yeah, right. So guys, tune in. Stay tuning in. We have something very special coming up here. And these are all for the patient folks that traded with us all day.
Right.
We're going to get Tori in here, so stay patient there. Those that are still here and that are tuning in for Tori, thank you. Those that are tuning in all day, thank you. We will reward patience. Patience, patience, patience. We did it too last week, John. You were there, weren't you? And everybody's kind of upset, and they go, "Stay patient."
Yeah.
You will get what we say.
That was Thursday.
Yes, that was Thursday. All those that stuck around that day got a much better opportunity than those that were just there for a smash and grab.
Oh, yes, they did. Yes, they did. So stay patient.
Stay patient.
And a lot of people got really mad. I was surprised. I'm like, remember I told them, I said, well, even if you don't like us, we still love you. Which is true. Awesome. Here comes Tori again.
Hey.
Hi, guys.
Hey. We should sound good?
I think so. What you think?
Okay. All right, cool. Where were we at?
Education.
Yes, we are. 21-day group coaching. And then what has that also tie you? You're teaching people. And what are you teaching people? So that helps everybody here know what that is. And then what are you getting taught at the same time? So
what I'm teaching is a super simple strategy. It's trend lines and some support and resistance and a lot of psychology. I would say what I'm teaching is not something you can't find online, but it's maybe the way that it's taught. It's maybe the psychology that gets attached to it. Or maybe it's just how simple it is. Like you can go look up a trend line trading strategy and it might be a little bit more complicated, or you could just look up any other strategy and it might be a little bit more complicated. So I'm just kind of really bare bonesing it, making sure that everyone understands the essential concept of the strategy. And so it's 21 days. So we'll essentially go over psychology first, then strategy. That takes about a week. And then the last week is just, okay, now let's apply it to real-time markets. So that's what I'm teaching. And then what I'm learning is just, I think it's more so just being held accountable to my trades. So I can't just get into the market based on a feeling. I have to truly walk my students through it and be like, okay, this is why I got in, this is why I got out. Do you share your screen? These are some questions that I'm seeing. Do you share your screen?
Is there a cost to this? How does this whole experience? What type of person are you looking for? That's your ideal student, so to speak.
Yeah, so it's definitely a lot of shared screens. The very last week we go through, the markets every day. So we'll update our trend lines, see where entries would have been. I try to walk through as many timeframes as I can, but for the most part, I stay in that 4 hour. But sometimes I'll do some examples in the 5 minute, I'll do some examples in the 1 hour, but I usually stay in that 4 hour time frame. It's 21 days. The cost is $11.97, and it is 21 days straight also. So it's like an hour a day. It's kind of like just showing up to class. So you show up to class for 21 days and it's live, and we answer questions. We'll do smaller group breakout sessions where I get to assign, homework, and you guys have to like brainstorm in these little groups to come up with a trade idea. So it's pretty cool. I've got some very interesting aspects to this coaching.
Nice. I think coaching I've heard people, when I first started Topstep in like 2010, this is a scam, this is blah, blah, blah. Like, those that can't do, teach. And I remember being like, dude, what did you those that can't do, teach? All right, so every teacher you've ever had in your entire life, you just discounted and called them all losers.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just like, come on, man. Such a harsh world, but trolling's trolling. Cool. What you said psychology. Do people get that right away, or do you get people that have been trading for a little bit longer? Like how many are they rookies? Are they like newbies, or
for the most part,
futures before? Where are they coming from?
For the most part, they are students who have tried strategies in the past and haven't been able to find success, and they're just looking for something easier or more digestible. I do have a lot of newbies too, though, so it'll just take – the first week is where I try to get everyone on the same page. So the first week, I'm like, okay, let's learn the TradingView platform. Let's walk through some of the markets. And I'm also not exclusive to just futures, so I'll also kind of show the strategy being done in the stock market, in the futures market, and in futures. I've tried to implement crypto, and I'll be honest, I'm struggling just because there's such sporadic movement. Like today specifically, Bitcoin, I had a beautiful trend line, it had some touch points, and then snap through it, came right back. I'm like, I don't know what to do about that. That's just like a little bit tricky. But as far as which type of trader, there's a variety. I'd say I got some of the newbies, but also some people that are just starting out and they've tried some strategies and can't really get it down.
Well, speaking of getting it down, we got to segue into this somehow. Speaking of getting it down, we're getting it down right now with a 3-alarm fire drill. This is very fun, Tori. Here's what we do here. Topstep just opens up everything. It's like, all right, F it. Here you guys go. And these are for all the folks that were patient enough. This is for your community too that's here too. This is a free 50K for the first month, completely free. Sign up. It's like a free reset. So treat it like a same there. So you may crash the site. No complaining here in baseball. I always say that. I don't even know if anybody knows what we're talking about, John, because it's like the old No Crying in Baseball, which is also
right.
90s movie. So do you know what we're talking about, Tori? When I go, there's no crying in baseball. Do you know what that's from?
I'll be honest, no.
God, I dated myself.
What is it? Tell me. I probably know it.
No, it's Madonna. She was crying, right? And she was, what was that? What was the movie?
It was
A League of Their Own.
A League of Their Own, yeah.
There you go. Thank you, Tony. Yep. Tony, are you 44 years old? Because that's my age.
There's no crying.
Okay, guys, this goes on till for another 30 minutes. It's up to 3,000 of them. If you don't get them, you don't get them. I don't. Where's mine?
It's a half an hour long. You should be able to get what you're looking for here in a half an hour.
Yeah. Stay patient. If the site doesn't work, if anything like that, but we're going to keep this up here. Keep it going. This is for everybody here too. That there's a core group here that just kick ass, and then people are bringing their friends now. And let me go on this real quick, Tori. I want to get back to you, but like bring your friend to TopstepTV week. Bring your friend to TopstepTV week. If you have a friend, they've never traded, they hear you talk about trading all the time. You know how awesome it is to have a friend that talks markets with you. Tori, do you have a friend that talks markets with you?
My uncle.
You can talk. You talk all the time, or no?
Oh yeah.
Oh, see, there you go. And once you have that, what does it do to you, like your perspective or your journey, I should say?
It's huge to have someone. First of all, you like get these endorphins from talking about the thing that you love, and like you're just bouncing ideas off of each other. You're sharing successes. Like in my case, I get to have my mentor like readily available at a phone call. So there is nothing like being able to just talk about trading with a friend.
Do you think his passion? Oh, you think Uncle Mike's? I'm Uncle Mike. Do you know Uncle Mike? I'm Uncle Mikey. I'm Uncle Mikey. Even at the age of 44, to my freshman in college niece. Oh, my Uncle Mikey donated to my sorority.
Oh, I love that.
Actually, was one of the bigger donations. There was $500 too. I'm like, what? That's the highest one. I'll win.
Yeah.
But she loved it. But she's like, Uncle, thank you, Uncle Mikey, on the thing, commenting to my whatever.
I love that.
But I'm an Uncle Mikey. He's your Uncle Mike. And his passion, I assume, spilled over to you, or were you already like, what does Uncle Mike do? I want to do that.
I don't think if my uncle had anything to do with it, I would have never made my way here. I would not be here. It was more so his lifestyle. So growing up, he was always home. And that was so confusing to me because like, the dads are always, they go to work, they're gone 9 to 5 and then they're back. My uncle was home all the time and he would take us on trips. Like if I was ever going to like Disney World, I was going with my uncle. So like, obviously he was doing something right. It was the lifestyle that I wanted to replicate. And turns out it was through not only trading, but he's an incredible entrepreneur. He invests in businesses, real estate, like he's got his own, businesses. So he's just an incredible entrepreneur. But I think the root of it was trading. Like that was kind of what, not only once he found the success in trading, it could fund his other endeavors, but also like he never quit, like, the businesses that he had invested in or that he had created himself.
Can we clear the questions in here in chat on ICT? I need to ask you, is ICT your uncle? Everybody keeps asking this. Maybe
no, it's not. If anyone knows the ICT strategy or SMC, whatever you want to call it, I'll be honest, I have no experience with it. You will know that my silly trend lines are, to be honest, frowned upon in that realm. So no, my uncle is not ICT.
There you go. It's clear. We can move on. That and
got that out of the way.
Move on from that question and the bazillion reset questions when the code's coming out. Because there's no reset code. There's only a free 50K code. So there won't be a reset code. There you guys go. And ICT is not Tori's uncle.
Negative ghostwriter.
Negative ghostwriter.
All right. Can I ask a tough question?
Let's hear it.
Okay. You had a big trade, big week. You've been kind of sitting back, just kind of protecting those wins. Maybe a little bit of trepidation getting back into the markets. What are you doing to kind of ease that and to get yourself back in?
I think I'm continuing to watch the market, so I haven't cut myself off. I'm still watching what the markets are doing. I can even see, I'm kind of self-reflecting. I'm seeing some big moves happen. So here's the position that I closed in oil continued double that move.
Right,
and I was still happy with the 26K that I made. I wasn't feeling FOMO. I'm not like,
you gotta be.
That I got
you
out.
Gotta be.
Yeah. So I'm kind of sitting back and self-reflecting, be like, wow, okay, I'm proud of myself. I didn't jump back in to try to get more. I was satisfied with a $4,000 trade the very next day. So I'm just really reflecting and making sure that I'm more so just being very self-aware, making sure the emotions that I'm feeling, making sure there's no FOMO, there's no urgency to get back in. If I do get back in, or I do see a setup that, really catches my eye, I think I might even, maybe reduce the position size just to make sure everything's feeling good and safe.
That's one of the things I was going to suggest, but I also just want to mention to you, as your old Uncle Hogue, I'm proud of you for having the presence of knowledge, the presence of mind to recognize that a trade of that magnitude to somebody who doesn't do that all the time is as difficult to digest as if it were a loss. I mean, it just eats you up mentally, physically, emotionally, sometimes even spiritually. You've got to be able to accept the fact that you're worth that one thing. And so just take your time. I don't think you're feeling pressure to get back in. When you find the right time, you're going to recognize that it's the right time. After 10 years of experience in trading, you're at a place where you're going to be able to recognize that it's recognizing, and then it's acting in your best interest in that way. And I feel like you really are. And I think it's a great answer. Get your head wrapped around it, put it behind you, get your feet back on the ground, size down a little bit, and get back in when you're ready.
Tori, what's your goal for the end of this year? Not money-wise, I don't need to hear that, but like, what's your goal to be as a trader by the end of the year?
Dude, I hit it. I already hit it. At the beginning of this year, it was
by October. Hell yeah.
I know. But it was more so like lifestyle and chart time. So that was more of a goal than money. But I'll add some money just to make it tangible and so people can understand. But the beginning of this year, I had talked about it all over my social media. One, I did it so that everyone could hold me accountable. It was making the transition to swing trading. So I was like, this is it. I am sticking to this time frame. I'm going to give it my best effort. And funny story, the very first month that I told everyone, I got spit up, like chewed up and spit out by the market. Like my very first month, it hurt. Like I had too many trades. I'm like struggling to stay in the 4 hour, but I kept going to the 1 hour. And the first month of trading sucked. And like I had to sit there and tell my entire audience, I was like, hey guys, well, I had a really crummy first month of the year trying to just make the transition to swing trading. And then slowly, like I just got better and better. I started staying in that 4 hour time frame. Chart time was minimal, just like I had wanted. So the goal, coming back to it, the goal was minimal chart time. I want to place like, maybe 5 trades a month and like still be able to hit my goal or just reach my whatever that is for the month. And so far I've been able to have, between 3 to 5 trades out of the whole month. And I'm able to hit. There was a few months in a row where I hit 20K by just a few trades. And then now I'm able to have a 20K singular trade. So I don't want to limit myself by creating goals to like hit, I want to hit 100,000 in a year, or I want to hit whatever this number is. I just want to, it's more so lifestyle. I want to have minimal chart time and I want to place fewer trades and stay in those profitable trades longer. That was the goal, and I've hit it.
By October.
Those financial goals. Those financial goals tend to work the opposite, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
And then once you get there, it's like, what do I do now? You don't want to put those goals in front of you. Just keep trading well. That's your goal. Yeah. Stay in your process, stay in your strategy, keep trading well.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a lot of people that are redeeming right now. Hey guys, if you have questions for Tori, toss them in here. If anybody says the site's down one more time, you have issues. If anybody says I'm trying to reset, it's not a reset code. If anybody says, where's the reset code? We didn't have a reset code. The only thing you're allowed to say right now is, hey, Tori, I have a question. So what is that? If anybody has any question for Tori, here's our opportunity. Tori, I like sitting here with you. Do you sit with other folks and talk trading out during the day at all, or is it just you and then your community?
I'd say when I'm not doing my group coaching, it's pretty solo. It's just me and the charts. There are times where I will share my trade with a family member that's not my uncle. Like, I was up 26K in that trade at the beginning of the month, and I showed my sister, and she was like, "You need to close that right now. Get out of the trade." And I'm like, it's never a good idea to talk trading or share open trades with anyone that has nothing to do with trading.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Or when you get out of trade, like, why didn't you just hold it? I'm like,
oh my God, please. Yeah, right?
Hey, thanks, Dad. I'm going to,
yeah.
I just want to talk
a couple of questions.
What's that?
There are a couple of questions. We asked for questions.
Oh, there you go.
What platform are you using? Pretty sure it's TradingView.
Yep, TradingView. I've connected to my broker, TradeStation.
Really good question here. What was your biggest loss this year, and what did you learn from it?
Ooh, wow, this is a good one. So biggest loss was 13K.
Okay.
I am experimenting, like I mentioned before, these bigger positions and building my capital. So one, I'm no longer trading micros. I went from micros to minis, and now I'm going from, 1 to 2 minis to 4 to 6 minis now. So strategy is the same. The profits and loss will be bigger now. So it was a loss as per usual. It's just, it was bigger because my position size was bigger. I would say The most that I learned was actually a loss before that one, which wasn't as big. So the loss before that one was maybe like, I think around 10K, and it was right after the summit. And you can imagine like the high that I'm on. I'm like seeing these other influencers. I'm seeing everybody's Lambos, everybody's Rolexes, all of the like yacht party. I'm like, okay, we got to go heavy. I need to keep up. Like I got to do something different. And so it was trading purely based on emotion, went way too heavy in a position. That's what I learned the most is just when I went to an event like that, I compared myself to these other traders, and that was such a mistake. Like I have to just stay in my own lane and be completely comfortable and happy with the things that I'm doing, because one, I know it's real and it's my thing and it's consistent. I don't know what these other traders are doing. I have no idea. So comparing myself was such a huge mistake.
So it's very personal, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of the other there's a lot of traders online that don't even know what they're doing. There's marketers. And then there's traders.
Yeah.
And you really got to understand who's a marketer and who's a trader. But then if you're a marketer that actually is helping you become a better trader with better habits, yeah. But if they're doing other things that you can feel is not moving you forward as a trader, and this is as a trader, not just trying to get you that big home run or sit on the Lamborghini or do all that kind of stuff. They have to be helping you move forward. Fine, but I'd say that person's not a marketer. I'd say they're actually a trader. But we have some other questions in here. How do you deal with FOMO? How do you deal with your emotions, managing your emotions? And FOMO, one of them.
Yeah, so FOMO, I always will come back to there are always moves. There has always been moves in the market before I even stepped foot into it, and there always will be after. So truly believing that the moves will always be there. But you have to believe it. Like maybe just saying it out loud will help. Repeating it, writing it down. I mean, I'm all about manifesting and all about just writing down goals and affirmations completely. Whether that's a spiritual thing or you can put some scientific study behind it. It works regardless of how you want to look at it. But I think truly believing it, that there's always going to be moves, helps with FOMO. And then psychology is just being very self-aware. Like you got to understand your own emotions. You got to know when you get that tight feeling in your chest after a loss. Are you about to do something you shouldn't do after that? Like it's just being very self-aware. I always come back to just understanding your own emotions and putting the correct coping strategies in place.
Do you study emotional intelligence? No, EQ, your whole self-aware is the whole foundation. There's like 5 self-aware, socially aware, self-management. We did a whole class with this. I paid. Oh, it's incredible. You love it. It's great for trading too. Do you read any books? Do you read any books on trading? Do you? Let's start with that one. Do you read any books on trading?
I'm gonna be honest with you, no.
Okay. Do you read any self-help books?
Yeah. Oh, all the time.
What kind?
The 4 Agreements, the 5th Agreement, Mastery of Love, all the same author. I mean, How to Win Friends and Influence People. There's so many self-help books that I love. But
out of all your self-help books, there's a common theme of what you're going for. You don't just pick one up and be like, oh, they're trying to get you somewhere. Where are you trying to go with those? Like the self-help books. Like I know mine was, about self-aware. Managing emotions, and then just understanding how to instill discipline into myself better and better and better each and every day.
Oh yeah.
What do you when you pull it off the shelf? I guess you don't do that anymore. When you go to click, download the book. Which one is you gravitating towards on the self-help side? Because I think self-help is so damn important to do in general, but even more so in trading, because if you're doing it there, you're like a growth-minded or open-minded enough that you're always working to improve yourself, aka the markets and how you trade in the markets, which is every day analyzing yourself as well. So which ones are you gravitating towards?
It's the becoming more in tune with yourself. Self-awareness is the main theme. And then anything outside of that is kind of just like thinking outside the box, outside the norm. Like I don't want to be part of the 80% of people that lose their money or that work that 9 to 5. So like any information I can get outside of that, I am always like, yes, that's my book. If we're thinking opposite of what, society does as a norm, I want to do the opposite, because I don't want to be in that 80%, or to be honest, it might be 90% now, but I don't want to be in that category. So thinking outside the box, absolutely a theme for me.
And then you'd recommend one book out there. What would it be?
It's got to be the 5th agreement, even though it's kind of the sequel to the 4 agreements, but it still incorporates that. So the 5th agreement is one I would highly recommend.
Awesome. All right, cool. So you are studying outside of class.
Very much so. Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome. So you don't like the there's no shortcuts in Tori's world to get to the end of the rainbow, which sounds like you did not take this year. You took the long journey to the right spot because you did really well this October meeting your goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly right.
All right, what other questions do we got coming in here? We have given.
Here's one for you.
Yeah, guys, we have 2,000 of these that have been used. So if you have not gotten yours, you have plenty of room here and time. I think we have another 12 minutes that we're going to do this on. But what are the questions?
Here's another question for you, and I think this is one that's more related to risk. It reads, "Hey Tori, how to take any more? No, this is not it. How long do you stay on losing trades from looking at your levels?" Kind of a risk question, right?
So this will be nice to kind of give people an idea of the strategy that I use. So the entries and exits, the winners and the losers, it's very dynamic because when I get into a trade, I don't know what my take profit is. So I want to stay in for the entirety of the trend. So in order to do, I have to see how long it's going to follow along this trend. Now, as soon as it breaks the trend that it's been following along, then I know, okay, we are no longer trending. We're no longer heading that direction. So that's where my either take profit, if I'm in profit, or my stop loss will be. So it'll all be dependent on how far the price moves in that direction. So it's very dynamic. I'm trying to follow the trends. I'm trying to stay in them for the entirety of it. So it's very dynamic. The risk is different every time depending on where I get into a trade, where it is in conjunction to my trend line. If it's very close to the trend line, it'll be very low risk. Very low risk trade. I'll know pretty quickly with a minimal loss if this works out or not. If I get in and the price is significantly far away from my trend line, the one that's keeping me safe, then the risk is going to be high. I may need to reduce position size, pass up on the trade. So I have a lot of things in place if I do have a high risk trade on my hands, kind of things that I check off of a list. But the risk, it's incredibly dynamic is the best way to put it.
Risk always is, right? It's basically volatility in the markets. Sounds like to me that you don't really mess around in range bound markets, do you?
Oh God, no. That's my that's my enemy. I am a trend trader for sure.
What's your favorite thing about being a trader? Now that you have a great year, you are definitely been in the game. You come from a trading family, yes. And now does your uncle consider you a trader? Like, you just go, hey, my trader niece?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He is so proud. I'm the only one in the family. So he's taught everyone. He's taught his sons, his daughter, his other nieces, his other nephews, his friends, his family friends. He has taught everyone. And I kid you not, I'm the only one that stuck it out and actually made this work. So that goes to show if you can use that as a representation of to which people actually, are successful in this and which ones aren't, that right there is the stats. He's taught everyone. I'm the only one that was like, no, we're grinding this out. I'm going to stick this out. I'm going to commit to it. And he's so freaking proud. It's the coolest thing ever.
Does Uncle Mike teach anybody else outside the family?
Absolutely. So there was a point in time where he was in the educational side of trading, and he had his own. He was more of the pre-recorded course type. He did do a few one-on-ones, especially he would have some people. He would do it in person with some people, but his time is incredibly limited now. So now he's enjoying life and just sitting back.
Well, tell Uncle Mike, Uncle Hoag's proud of you too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Uncle Mikey's over here cheering you on as well.
You guys are amazing.
Well, this is awesome. I like having you on here. Is there anything you want to leave us with? Is there anything here that for folks in the chat that you guys want to say as we kind of wrap this up? And after this, guys, we have Top Quiz. Top Quiz comes up. Tori, it'd be great to have you on here to do Top Quiz sometime. It's like pop quiz. Huh?
Ooh, okay.
Get it?
Okay, I like that.
And it's fun questions, and it's also market related questions. It's just kind of fun, and we give away stuff after that one as well.
Yeah.
Any other questions that we have? We're gonna start to wrap this up. Tori, what is I got a question for you. Where do you want to be as a trader at the end of 2015? It's December 31st. You got the champagne glass in your hand, and it's 2025.
Ooh,
you got the whole. So you got all next year and the following year to do it.
Please don't tell me it's a Lambo.
Absolutely not. No, it is.
You want to be sitting on 4 Lambos and the yacht in the back, which somehow we're not even.
No. It's I would say 2025. It would be. I've got a family that I'm able to spend a majority of my time with, that I can focus on family. I can focus on kids, relationships. I would say real estate. Hopefully I've invested in some real estate by then. A comfortable house, sure. And trading wise, I would say I hope to make it to a level of, I don't know if there's still a step higher than this. The swing trading feels great. Maybe diversifying a little bit, maybe some long-term investments. To be totally honest with you guys, I don't have any experience with long-term investing. I have always day traded. So
same here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, same as me. I don't touch it. I have a Merrill Lynch guy. I go, here you go.
Wow.
Like, we're gonna tranche these out in T-bills and blah blah blah, and then we're gonna put some here. I'm like,
good to know.
Yeah. No, I don't. I'm a trader. I don't investors and trade. I cannot move from there to there. We'll look at it and be like, oh, I'm gonna get out of this now. No, it's a longer sell. Yes, I'm there with you. You're not alone.
That's so funny. I felt like when you've made it, you're like this investor, trader, like all of these things, entrepreneur. But yeah, long-term investor, I've got no experience with. But I definitely want to be more of an entrepreneur, have some businesses outside of trading, maybe within the industry, within trading. So a lot of things, but I'm really happy with where I'm at. I think maybe just continuing this process, maybe mastering swing trading a little bit more, always improving. But I think I'm really happy with where I'm at. I don't want to get stagnant. I don't want to get too comfortable, but I'm happy with my progress that I'm making.
Well, awesome. I'm happy with joining this conversation with you. Hogue, do you have any questions that we want to throw out?
When are you coming back?
Ooh, coming back on another one of these?
Yeah.
We're gonna try to bribe Tori to come back here on a regular occurrence. So she can join us for the fast. This is a power player right here. This is a power player segment. You got to join us when the markets are moving and we're talking shop and all that kind of stuff, and we can people can hear how you talk out stream of consciousness if you want to do it. I know you're really good about that. Your stream of consciousness talk, I love it, guys. Her Instagram, I think your YouTube's up here. You talk out trading and you talk out your thinking in a way that is very, very, very relatable.
Yeah.
And it's like you do it in a really easy way to digest everything you're saying and go, you have an aha moment. Like I still have the aha moments where I'm like, like that was good, or hearts or whatever it is.
Exactly.
Yeah. So no, good shit. I love this conversation. I think having you on here more would be awesome. And as we kind of started this TopstepTV, it's really exploding now, and we got a bunch of other stuff really coming up that's going to kind of take it even further. But I appreciate everybody being on here. So hopefully everybody there's 4 minutes left. Everybody got their free trading combine. We gave away 3,000 of them. Tori's on here. Tori's awesome. And Tori, we're excited to get you back.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. This has been awesome. I could do this all day. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's just easy. It's fun. You get those endorphins from just talking the stuff that you've experienced.
Right.
And I learn something new every time. So every time I have a conversation like this, I'm always learning different stuff.
Well, good. I learned a lot too. Hope, did you learn something today? I know you're a master of professor of all things.
I soak everything up.
Still a sponge to this day. All right, cool. Thanks, Tori. Thanks for coming on. Guys, we're going to have top quiz coming up. We're going to take a little break. I'm cutting out with Tori and Hogue. I think you're cutting out. And then we have top quiz coming up for everybody that stays on, where you can win.
And group coaching after that. Don't forget.
Then group coaching right after that. So thank you, Tori.
Yeah, of course, guys. Thank you so much.